Okay, it's the beginning of the second full day of my little trip out here to the Tularosa Basin, which is kind of what the greater area is that contains Alamogordo and White Sands and a place called the Valley of Fire, which I think that's where I want to go today. It was either that or Cloudcroft, but I'll go to Cloudcroft tomorrow. I think I'm going to try and stay someplace up in Cloudcroft tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. I might change my mind. So let's go north a little bit, see what's out there. So my radio-oriented goals today are to get out to the Valley of Fire, which is a good, I don't know, 30-40 miles, excuse me, outside of Alamogordo, out to the north, something like that, and see what kind of range I can get. And it's a straight, unobstructed shot from Valley of Fire, actually even way further north than that, all the way down to El Paso, where we established a couple days ago. There are lots of repeaters, 2 meter and 70 centimeter. And see if I can hit some of those, see if I can hit some of the Alamogordo area repeaters, and also try my luck with APRS again, see if I might be able to make myself appear on APRS.fi map. Well, let's find out. I almost drove into the middle of the desert with basically no fuel in the tank. Yeah. Not a great idea. I'm just saying. It's not for me. You do you. I'm gonna fill up. So I'm gonna record this part of the video in the car because it's windy as heck out there and I just can't keep the wind sound off of the phone. So here we are at Valley of Fire. Okay, so I set up the big orange box and I've got it running on the power inverter down there, which is plugged in here. And let's get this thing turned on. And I'm not going to use the computer right now. Let's see, 13.5, okay, and that's coming from that. And it's also charging the battery, which is, yeah, that circuit's closed. So let's rotate through some of the repeater frequencies I programmed back home and see what we can find. So it took a second to figure out that the reason I wasn't hitting any repeaters at all, I mean ones I knew I should be able to hit, is it's kind of hard to do when your antenna's not plugged in. You know, go figure. So the Valley of Fire is kind of an interesting and definitely unique landscape feature out here in southern central New Mexico. So about 5,000 years ago or so, very recently, when you're talking about geological terms, a little crack opened up in the earth just a few miles north of here, and lava started flowing out. It didn't spew out, wasn't a giant volcano or anything like that. Earth basically just kind of cracked open and it started flowing out. Now, humans were inhabiting the area at the time, so I can just imagine, you know, hunting parties coming back from hunting buffalo, and they're walking around out here, and suddenly, oh, hey, look, a river of fire. Sure, you know, but because why not? It's all just desert out here, and you can see way out there it's just normal desert, and then suddenly, you know, there's this massive mile-wide river of fire, and yeah, so there you go. Okay, so I'm on the road back from Carrizozo, New Mexico, headed back to Alamogordo, and around a town called Oscura, I don't know how to pronounce it. Had the APRS rig, little 5-watt HT hooked up to the mobile antenna on the back of the car, and once I got past a little bit of terrain, I made a hit. I showed up on APRS.fi, and I think that the node that I hit is in Alamogordo, and I didn't look super carefully. I will in a bit, but I think that the closest node to me is in the Alamogordo area, and as soon as my transmission made it through and showed up on the APRS map, is also about when I got past some foothills that were blocking my line of sight to Alamogordo. Now I have pretty much line of sight. I'm still 45 miles away from Alamogordo, but I definitely have line of sight at this point, so that's pretty cool. And it looks really neat out here, as a matter of fact. It's beautiful. Here, take a look. If you love the desert, that is a beautiful view right there. And there's some other mountains. I love the Tularosa Basin, which I'm driving right down the middle of, almost straight south right now. I came here all the time when I was a kid. I grew up just a few hours from here in the Texas Panhandle, and surrounded on the east and west by mountains. White Sands is out there. The Trinity test site where the first nuke was exploded is out that way, just like 25 miles or something like that. It's not far. Out in this direction right now, this is kind of the northern end of the White Sands missile testing range, and it's wonderful. It's magical. This is not everybody's speed. Not everybody likes the desert. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's a wasteland." There's, you know, it's just kind of there. It's a bunch of the same stuff. It's too hot. It's too dry. But if you love the desert, you really, really love the desert. I'm definitely one of those people. You never know what you're going to find in your travels around our great nation. Hi there. So I was noticing something as I was getting out of the car and walking back into my hotel room. I'm sorry, not hotel, motel. There's nothing hotel about this. Anybody who knows anything about antennas will recognize that as a Yagi antenna. In fact, it's even labeled, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's a little sticker that says Yagi. And as you can tell by the size of the elements on there, it's pretty small. So this is for connecting this little building, which is kind of an island, over to where the actual internet service comes from in the main building over there. Yeah, that Yagi antenna right there, that directional Yagi antenna, which is apparently connected directly to a satellite. I don't know. How about that? That might explain why my internet signal here keeps dropping out. Yeah.